Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel, and if you are new then a big huge welcome to you. I'm trying not to hurt my arm at the moment because it is a little bit numb, but I'm gonna do some gentle clapping for the next few videos over the next 3 weeks. Wow! This is the other part on what's happening with the vaccine process. I'm going to upload this video a few days after, but I've already shared the post on Instagram. But I just got my first dose of the COVID vaccine. I have to tell you though, I'm so pleased that I actually got it, and it was a little bit of a journey because I found out that I was getting the vaccine about 5 days prior, but I was up and down and my emotions were all over the place prior to today, but now it's a sense of relief. Phew! So in the middle of the vaccine diaries, I'm just going to talk about my own experiences of getting the vaccine, and I'm going to talk about some tips that I followed and did beforehand within the 5-day period, but then also I will leave some links in the description box down below as well, because I've come across 2 things, and one of them involves how the vaccine process takes place, and then also the other part is how I managed to prepare myself. But then yes, let's start with the very beginning. 5 days before I had the vaccine, and I think, what day is it? Saturday, Friday, not Tuesday, Thursday, Wednesday, Monday. So I found out I was having the vaccine on the Monday, and it was a little bit of a tricky process because in the last video I did regarding about the vaccine, I was talking a little bit about why people with epilepsy are still waiting to have the vaccine, and it was quite a funny coincidence because by the time I uploaded it, I thought, yeah, I'm just going to have to wait for a while. But the day after I uploaded that video, I was given the call by my GP to say, would you like to come for an appointment for the vaccine? And once I found out, I said yes straight away. I felt like, yep, get me the earliest appointment you can, please. And I was so pleased when I found out that I was going to have the vaccine today. I just feel so over the moon about it. But prior to that, I thought, how can I actually do to prepare myself for this? And I just thought, is it a process of waiting, or is it something that I need to do just to help grow my confidence or just to keep going? But I found out that beforehand it is recommended for people who are taking the vaccine to exercise 3 days before, and I actually found it through a magazine article from a magazine called New Scientist. I don't know if it's actually online, but I will have a look at it, and if I do, I will leave the link in the description box down below. But basically, in the article, it discusses about what you should do 3 days before you get the COVID vaccine. I've actually started reading it on the Tuesday, and once I found out about it, I thought to myself, what can I actually do with this? And I had a discussion with my mum because we talk about healthcare and how to look after yourself, and we both agreed that for the next 4 days, best thing to do for me is to be well and to be as fit enough as much as possible. And I'm not normally a person who exercises a lot, well, apart from swimming. I found out that it was going to be a tiny bit of a challenge, but I'm trying to keep on track with my walking, and I usually do it about a few days a week rather than every day. And then also I recently joined a dance Zoom club which was hosted by one of my friends, so I've been getting the groove and getting into the moves with the songs that were played for about every hour once a week, and I found it quite beneficial. I felt like it was really good fun, and I think, to be honest, I would highly recommend joining a Zoom dancing class because it is so worth it. But with the walking, like I said before, it is quite a challenge, but I managed to focus and concentrate on it while I'm walking. So what I basically do whenever I feel like, oh, I don't want to do it, I actually try and focus on a point or focus on a topic that would help me just to try and be as fit and just to walk a bit more. And every time I walk, I absolutely adore animals. I did come across a few cats and 1 or 2 dogs during that week, and I did interact with them a little bit, not too much because I know owners with cats can be very funny, but just to interact with them a little bit, like, hello, what you doing and how's your day, like talking as if they were human beings. And I know it sounds weird, but this is what I usually do when I talk with animals. I'm a bit of a weird person. However, if I wasn't really in the mood to dance or go out for a walk outside the house, I would just do like a little bit of moves. Like I would do about half an hour of dancing at home because apparently it gets the blood flowing, which increases the chance of being more immune to the vaccine. And I did that one time, and even though it was really challenging, I found that it really helps. But then also I did some knee calf stretches and some sit-ups as well. Again, not really my thing, but I found it very helpful too. And that continued on within the 4-day period. And when it came to yesterday, which is the Friday, I was having mixed emotions, and I didn't really know why, because I never felt like this with any other jab or a vaccine before. Because when I used to go to my neurology appointments, I would have a blood test after my appointment to see how my blood is reacting well to my epilepsy medication. So with the needles, I knew the drill, I knew what was going to happen, so I was completely fine with that. But on the Thursday, I felt super tired after having a long day, and then the Friday I was feeling quite the same, but I went on a very long walk for about an hour and a half, and then also I tried to relax and rest, but everything was just really going around in my head, and I felt, no, I really cannot really deal with this. And then during the night it actually got to me, and I did have a tiny bit of a meltdown, but it only lasted for about 15 minutes. But it was because that I just really was stressed, because I had mixed feelings of, the one hand being really excited, and then on the other hand thinking like, oh no, what if it goes wrong? What should I do? And all of that. Because before I found out about the vaccine, I've been reading updates on the media, and since they were talking about the vaccines a lot, there had been a few speculations or worries about whether the vaccines may or may not work because of the South African variant, and I was really worried about that. And even though I never looked on news articles or online, or I watched the news, it just came back to me, and I really don't know why. It took me a while to settle down really, but after that 15 minutes I was completely fine, and I didn't tell anybody about it because you know me, I just don't really tell things when I'm upset, which is pretty bad, but I'm just one of those people really, to be honest. And once I calmed down a little bit, I just thought about being positive, and to distract myself I was talking with everybody, like socializing on Zoom and on Microsoft Teams, and then also I played some of my music, my favourite music, to keep me calm, and just basically just try to think positive. And for some reason I thought about it a lot, because I actually got a very good night's sleep. And I don't know if the positive thoughts really worked, but I assume that they have. Today, what happened was that I was feeling a little bit nervous, but I was generally a little bit more calmer because I actually had a Zoom gender reveal party for one of my friends and her boyfriend, and I couldn't really stay long. I only stayed for about 20 minutes, but we did a quiz before I left and I managed to get up to question 17 before I actually had to go. But it was really helpful and it was really good, and I just generally enjoyed it, and I'm hoping to finish off the quiz questions once I start recording the video, but I'm really looking forward to it. What happened when I basically left with my mum, I had a lift from my mum, and she's also my carer too, so she went in with me during the whole process, because people in the extremely vulnerable or just in the vulnerable groups, they are entitled to have a carer come in with them once they have the vaccination. And it was basically a stroke of luck that she came with me. But what I found out was really interesting, because when we first got in, my mum and I heard that if a carer, whether it's a parent or a family member or a friend, has been told yes you can, they can have a vaccine on the same day as the person. But as we found out, it wasn't going to happen with my mum today. But we did ask about it, and carers can come in separately on a 1 week to 2 week period, but they have to contact their own GP and they have to show evidence that they are a carer of a person, and once they've done that they can actually book the appointment. When we actually arrived at the hub, because there are loads of places where you can actually get the COVID vaccine, but basically it was in a building just right behind a local post office, and I thought that was a really interesting place to have a hub to receive the COVID-19 vaccine. When I went in, the first thing I was told was what kind of vaccine I was having. When I booked my appointment, my GP really didn't tell us what type of vaccine I was having, and once I got in, I found out that I was getting the Pfizer vaccine, which I kind of knew I was getting. And whilst I was still waiting, I was given a leaflet which talked about the vaccine itself and what would happen after you have it. So basically the side effects and what's likely, and all the mathematical bits of how much people would have, really, because people may have no symptoms at all within a few days after the vaccine, but there are some people who will have symptoms. And I think I'm going to get this wrong, but I'm going to say, for example, I found out that 1 in 10 people will likely to have very common symptoms such as a sore arm, dizziness, headaches, etc. And I found it really interesting because there was some information that I did know, but there were parts that I really didn't know. But I kept the leaflet for myself because I was told that I could read it again once I get my second dose. But even if it was taken back once I've had the vaccine, or if I can keep it forever, I think it's a good idea just to have a read or have a look again. And if you are a person who knows a little bit about information, but if you have the leaflet, and depending if you know some bits or not, I would really highly recommend reading the leaflet once you get in for your COVID vaccine. I went around just a little bit after lunchtime, but I was really lucky because I had the vaccine jab just straight away. I wasn't in a long queue, and whilst I was waiting at the very front, there was this wonderful lady, and sadly I don't remember her name, but she was really lovely. She was really positive, and she actually made the experiences a bit open, friendly and inclusive. She asked me a few questions like, have you been ill? Have you been tested positive for COVID-19? Or if you are, or thinking about being pregnant? And to all those things I said no. And once that was done, I actually had the COVID jab. I was a little bit at 50-50. I was half nervous, half excited, but my mum was with me holding my hand. I did see the needle twice, and one time I actually saw it was before it went in. I then had a look at my mum just for support. And then I felt this tiny little scratch, and then once it was in, I actually had a look, and even though my mum was like, no, don't look at it, don't look at it, I just looked at it and I thought, yeah, I was waiting for this. And I'm so glad I had it. So it was all a positive experience and there was nothing to worry about too. And I will show you a little bit of where I had the vaccination because, I've got to be careful with that. And I forgot to add this before, but when the lady asked me which arm that I wanted to have the vaccine in, I said to her, any arm will do. And then she asked me, are you left or right-handed? And I said to her, I'm right-handed. And she said, okay, let's do your left arm. So this is my left arm. I'll just put it like really gently back. Once that happened, I just really came out smiling, and it was a very positive experience, and I felt to myself, I'm just so glad that I got the Pfizer vaccine. But even if I did have the Oxford vaccine or the other vaccine, which I cannot remember the name of, but I just think that's a really good thing to have. And then that was it. That's basically what happened. At the moment, I feel like a little bit of numbness on the top half of my arm, but that's okay really. I feel very fine. I don't have any symptoms at the moment, but we're just gonna have to see how it goes within a few days. I'm gonna have to wait 12 weeks for my second dose, but until then I'm going to continue to do plenty of exercise as much as I can, because I found out that it will take 3 weeks before the actual vaccine, depending what you have, protects your whole immune system. So what I'm gonna do really is I might do as much walking as I can, even though I feel like about it. I will continue to do my dancing stuff and then just keep on doing other stuff really, and just really focusing on the future. But yeah, basically that was my whole vaccine story. And it did sound long and my throat is absolutely killing me. But before I go, I want to share a few tips with you, as well as the tips I was given before I had the vaccine. I'm going to share like a few things that I've done myself, which I will pass on to you. So tip number 1, before you have the vaccine, make sure you do plenty of exercise about a week before. And I know the New Scientist article said 3 days before, but since I started 4 days before, I would personally recommend doing a week, or straight away after you've booked your appointment to have the vaccine. Just start getting started on that ASAP. Tip number 2 is when you are actually having the vaccine yourself. So from tip number 2 onwards, it's all going to be about what's going to happen when you have the vaccine. So tip number 2, always wear loose clothing. Also, the other tip is to tie your hair back. The third tip is to don't really think about it too much. But when you're having the vaccine and when you're really scared, it's best not to think about being worried too much. And if you do have a carer with you, and if you ask for them to hold their hand or just to have a discussion while you're having the jab to have the vaccine in, just pretend that you're having a normal conversation without thinking about it too much. You can talk about your favourite hobby, you could talk about an event that happened, or you could talk about just random stuff really. Any conversation will benefit. But if you are on your own, what I would do is just to close your eyes and just take gentle deep breaths. The final tip, which is something that happens afterwards, my final tip is that once you get home, first thing you should do is wash your hands, wash your masks, wash your face with hot water and soap. And if you bought any jewellery, you either have to leave it beside a window when it's really sunny for about 3 days, or if you want it to be done very quickly, just wash it with hot water and soap. Not the Pandora bracelets though, because they can rust quite easily, but anything else, just as long as it's not proper silver, they can be washed, no problem. And then yes, that is everything that I have to say. Overall, I think that today has been a very positive experience and I'm so happy that I got the vaccine. So the next time I will get it will be in about May time, I think, but I think it will be May, but if not, then June. I won't be doing like a second dose video because it will be similar like the first dose, but I will be doing a conclusion once I've had both of them and just give my own positive review in general. But then yeah, that's really all I have to say, and with that I'm going to be drawing this video to a close. I think I have talked a bit longer than I should, but I'm so glad that I got it done whilst I would remember everything in my head. And let me know in the comment section down below of the things that you would really love to do once you've had the vaccine. Are you making lists of places to go? Are you planning to see family members anytime soon who don't live with you? Or maybe you want to do something else in general. Just tell me in the comment section down below and let's get talking about it. I would really, really love to see your comments on this one. And until then, guys, I hope you have a wonderful day wherever you are in the world. And if you are getting the vaccine, I wish you the very best of luck. And I hope it really, really goes well and you'll have a positive experience like I had. And as always remember to keep on dreaming and never stop believing. Stay safe, stay well, and stay healthy, and I'll see you very soon. Bye!